You live.
All right, Shalom Yasharala. This Louisiana Tabernacle David coming through with a sit down to edify the elect as we commissioned by our Heavenly Father and our great King. And we're going to give infinite honor to our Heavenly Father and our great King, whose names are Yahweh, Hashem, we're going to give double honors to our teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to my fellow ladies in Yahweh Shai, pushing the truth across the four winds in these blessed last days, seconds, and times. And on this topic, man, we're going to go in for the naysayers, for the doubters of the scriptures that say our blessed book is a book of fairy tales and nursery rhymes, so on and so forth. All right, when in fact, these scriptures touch on everything that has to do with our lives day in and day out. All right, our scriptures. You can funnel secular history through our scriptures. You can funnel all of the great kingdoms that has arose and fallen that you learn in your history books through our scriptures. You can even find the UN, NATO, all right, in our scriptures. All right. There's scriptures that go in on the corporate bankers, Illuminati in our scriptures. All right. You got prominent people that are in the exile in the archives of history. Alexander the Freak, he's in our scriptures. Caesar Augustus, he's in our scriptures. Those aren't nursery rhymes. These things is in the scripture. The fall of Jerusalem. No, that's in secular history. You learn that in secular history. All of those are in the scriptures. And what the thing about it, our scriptures tell us the things that's going to happen to everything that's going on in this physical realm before it happens. Our scriptures prophesied of Alexander the Freak coming into power years before he was born on the planet Earth. Hey, give me Daniel 8 and 20. Daniel lived a couple. Well, I'm not going to wing it. Daniel lived at least 100 years before Alexander the Great. But guess what? Huh?
You got it. You got it, brother?
Yep.
All right, bring it out.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 20, it says, the ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia.
Come on.
It says, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
All right. When Daniel walked the planet Earth, Greece hadn't came into power. All right. And the king of Greece is Alexander the Great. All right. But Daniel, who lived way before this guy was born, prophesied that this guy is coming, man. And prophesied what he was going to do. He reads.
And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Come on.
Now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power.
All right. Now, when you understand these prophecies, Daniel is prophesying what's going to happen with the Babylonians when they come into power. Before, I mean, not the Babylonians before, but the Persians, what was going to happen when they came into power. What was going to happen to the Grecians before they came into power. What was going to happen with the Romans before they came in power. He was saying exactly what was going to happen with these kingdoms and how it was going to happen, how they were going to come up, and how they were going to get taken down. That's not a nursery rhyme. All right. Did not Alexander the Great, that rough goat, take down the ram, the Media Persia Empire? Read it, start at verse 20 again.
This is Daniel 8, verse 20. The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings.
Those two horns represent, well, if you know about history, it was the Medio Persia Empire. All right, they were one empire, with the Persians being a little stronger. They eventually took down the Medes, but who took them down? The Greeks. They're rough goat. All right, the prophet prophesied that years before it came to pass, man. He said what was going to happen and how it was going to happen. That was a beautiful example that our scripture, you could funnel secular history through our scriptures, and our scriptures are spiritual, and the physical realm has to manifest what was spoken out in the spirit first, man. This book is a book of power, man. Ain't no fucking nursery rhyme, okay? Or no fucking folklore, fairy tale. What you was about to say, brother?
I can bring out a precept to back up what you're saying, brother.
All right, bring it out.
There's going to be two to make it make sense. This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 2. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start at 2. It says, Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from one another. All right, now I'm gonna jump to verse 17. These great beasts.
Hey, let me chime in. These great beasts that came into power. All right, Daniel was in the beginning of the Babylonian captivity, but 3 of those beasts, those kingdoms hadn't even come into power yet. All right, and these 3 kingdoms, all 4 of these kingdoms can be found in secular history, and you learn them in your history books. Okay, you got it, bro.
And verse.
I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help.
Fuck up.
A little.
In verse 17, it says, these great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. You know, just to back up what the brother said. You know, because Daniel was prophesying about kingdoms to come, man. You know,
before they even came into power. He prophesied of the Babylonians. All right, he gave Nebuchadnezzar an understanding of some dreams he had. All right, and told Nebuchadnezzar how his kingdom was going to fall. All right, when you go in, what that is, Daniel the 2nd chapter. All right, then you got he told him about the Persians before the Persians even came into power. Okay. Yeah. Then he prophesied how the Greeks was going to come into Persia and take the Persians down before it even happened. And we're going to go into Daniel 9 where he prophesied about the Romans coming into power and what was going to happen during the Roman Empire, man. How is it going to happen? With pinpoint accuracy. And Daniel lived 500 years before the Romans, man. All right? And we're about to prove it, you know, through the spirit and power. Yahweh Shema Washai. So, Nakumi, get 2nd Ezra 11:1.
Second Ezra 11:1, it says, Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. And I saw it.
Stop right there. All right. Now, Ezra lived 200 years before the Romans came into power. All right. Ezra lived during the time he lived at the end of the Babylonian captivity, going into the Persian captivity. When he lived, the Greeks hadn't even came into power. Okay. So you bypass the Greek captivity, all right, which was some hundreds of years, and then you go to the Romans. So Ezra prophesied way before the Romans came into power, way before Romulus became king of Rome. Okay? Because when you break that scripture down and they say, I saw in a dream and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, that eagle represents the Roman Empire. When you learn history on the Roman Empire, they always use the eagle as a symbol. Okay? And those 12 feathered wings were 12 emperors that rose up from the Roman Empire. Okay? From it was called the Julio Claudio line, all right? That was from Julius Caesar all the way down to Nero. All right, and then after Julius Caesar down to Nero, you had the year of the four emperors. Okay, after Nero off himself. That's why I think something gonna happen with DJ Trump, because DJ Trump is fucking Nero. I think something's gonna happen because when the ancient Nero fell down, it was a civil war in Rome, and it's not Donald Trump got the country looking like it's gonna be a civil war.
Yup.
When Nero killed himself, it was a civil war. The country was ancient Rome was jockeying for power. Okay, so that's what looked like it's about to happen right now. Then you had the year of the four emperors. Okay, and then you had that head, which we about to get into. Bring that out. I'm about the triumvirate. All right, and you got to understand, Ezra is prophesying these things before this kingdom even came into power. All right, and this is things that you can read about in secular history. Bring it out. This is secular history. This is what you learn when you go to these. If you go to a fucking what they call these black colleges and bullshit. HBCU, you ain't gonna learn this. But if you go to something like Harvard or Yale, all right, one of these Ivy League schools, and you go major in history, you're gonna learn this in secular history. Bring it out.
This is I looked it up. I looked up the word triumvirate on the internet or Google. It says in ancient Rome, a group of three men holding power, in particular, the first triumvirate, the unofficial coalition of Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus in 60 BC.
All right. Now, we read about the blessed brother Aragorn. Is that a fucking nursery rhyme? Is that a folklore? No, these three men really were confederate, okay? That ruled after one another, all right? That's what the triumvirate was about. That's something that you can look up in secular history, all right? And the scriptures prophesied of these guys before they even came into power. How dare anyone say this is a book of folklore? All right? Skip down to verse 22, brother, on the coming.
All right, 22, it says, Second Ezra 11. Second Ezra 11 and 22. It says, after this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more.
All right, so all of these, the time came when Ezra was looking at this vision, all right, that the Most High revealed to him. Every emperor rose, ruled, and died. All right, and they came right behind each other. Bring it out.
It says, nor the two feathers, and there was no more upon the eagle's body.
All right.
The three heads.
This eagle body that was full of feathers and contrary feathers, all of them are Roman emperors. Some had a long run, some had short stints. All right, but every time a emperor rose, a feather fell off the body. All right. Now we got to get to the point where the last feathers that's on the body. All right, the last emperors that ruled. Bring it out.
Kind of says, and there was no more upon the eagle's body, but three heads that rested, and 6 little wings.
All right. Now, when we look up the word rested, what does the word when the Bible say, and he rested, what does the Bible mean? Does
Sleep,
it mean
die.
but he's what? He's coming back, right?
Mhm.
Give me Daniel 12 and 13.
This is Daniel's 12, verse 13. You said, huh, brother?
Yeah.
Okay, and it says, but go thou wait till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days.
All right. Now that's what had to happen with these emperors for ancient Rome. All right. When we was talking about Crassus, Pompey, and Julius Caesar, they all died. But guess what? They came back through reincarnation, and we're gonna see what happened. The guys that they came back reincarnated as are in the hours of history. Get Revelation 10 and 10 just to show you when you rest, you come back and you do the same thing. That's what the scriptures say. He rested. That means he would just sleep for a moment to the third or fourth generation, and you come back.
All right, you ready for
you come back at a point in time. Bring it out.
You said Revelation 10 and 10?
Con.
This is Revelations chapter 10, verse 10. It says, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter.
All right. And that's John the Baptist. All right. Eating these scriptures, eating the whole roll, getting the truth of the scriptures, and it come in your mouth sweet, and it comes down bitter when you find out the truth. All right. When you find out you're supposed to be ruling, but you living in the fucking ghetto. All right. Is that bitter news to you? When you can see, when you know the truth. You remember on the movie Matrix when what
Neo.
that guy that not Neo. What was his name that what was that white boy name? He played Neo? Or Lawrence Fishburne was Neo.
You talking about
no, Fishburne was the dude that had the pills. The dude that played John Wick.
Yeah, what's his name?
Fuck.
You ain't look at the Matrix yet?
Yeah, I did, bro.
You don't know his name?
No, I don't know his name.
No, because I'm trying to give a visual, make point that you got a character right. That's why I'm asking his name for his what's that boy name, man?
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. All right. When Keanu Reeves on the Matrix ate that red pill, you don't remember how he started freaking out?
Yeah.
He was like, no. You know how his nerves got bad? He was like, this can't be true. That's that bitterness when you know the truth. When you're in a society and your people is at the bottom of the totem pole, and then you get the truth and you know you're supposed to be ruling at the top. That's a bitter to know that. That vexes your spirit. All right. When you lived in a society where you thought it was cool for homos to walk around with liberty and have all these perks for being a homo, and you know that they supposed to be put to death and they shouldn't be allowed to live amongst us, you know that's bitter. All right. That's why I say it was sweet. It's sweet in your mouth when you find out you're the best people on the planet Earth. But then when you fall in reality and see what's going on around about you, all right, your nerves be bad. That's why the scriptures say, put a mark on the men and sigh and cry. All right. When you're in reality, you're going to sigh and cry for all these abominations going on around about us. Keep reading.
And it says, and he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations of tongues and kings.
All right. Now, when you read about John the Revelator in the book of Revelation, where is it documented that he preached again?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. So he's preached in these last days, seconds, and time. He rested. He died. All right. He lived on the island of Patmos. Some historians say he got off of the island of Patmos, but anywhere it go, he lived to be an old man. All right. And he is nowhere documented where he went and taught people again. So he had to be where he rested and came back, and he's back here prophesying now, man. And we know who he is. You know, but we're not gonna go there. That's another conversation for another day. Okay, so that's what it means when the triumvirate, those three heads rested. All right, let's go back to Nakumi.
All right. So we have verse 24.
Start at 23.
All right, Second Ezra 11 to 23. And there was no more upon the eagle's body, but three heads that rested.
All right, so three heads that rested. So that means Pompey, Craxius, and Julius Caesar died. That's what that means. Okay, come on.
And six little wings.
All right, and when they say they rested, that means they was coming back. They was still had to come back and fulfill their lot. All right, and you had six little wings. So you had more emperors that was going to come out of those six wings. All right, can you read?
Then saw I also that two little feathers divided themselves from the six.
Come on.
And remained under the head that was upon the right side.
Come on.
For the four continued in their place.
Come on.
And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wing thought to set up themselves to have the rule.
All right, now here we go. Now you see where it said, and the four continued in their place. All right. Nakumi, Google, pull up.
I can do it, brother. I got Google right here.
All right, pull up the year of the four emperors. You see, you can't make this up. This is secular history that you can pull up at the tip of your fingertip. And this brother bought this out years before these people walked the earth, man. This is how we always say when people come to us, how do you know your book is the truth? We know our book is the truth because of prophecy.
God.
The testimony of our side is the spirit of prophecy. Paul told the believers to covet the gift of prophecy, man. That's how we could tell you what's going to happen before it happens. All right, do you think the people here in America think a famine about to hit this bitch?
Nope.
Do they think this bitch about to turn into a third world country overnight? Like when you look at the fucking Somalians with their stomachs popping out and flies all in their eyes and shit. They can't see that happening to America. But we got prophecies that's telling us that it's going to happen. That's how we know we got what we have is the truth. And when it come to pass, they going to know prophets was among them, man. All right? You got it, bro. Read it, all right?
It says the year of the four emperors, 69 AD.
All right, and these four emperors was Galba.
Otho.
Huh?
You right, Galba.
Otho. Vitellius, and Vespasian.
All
right, now read about it. Because something transpired for that to happen. We're gonna see what happened. It's funny. What you know, DJ Trump.
It says the suicide of Emperor Nero in 68 AD.
All right, and through the spirit, us men of the Lord, we think, and when you look at the bust of the ancient Nero, he looked just like that carrot head devil DJ Trump. They both, when you read about the writings about how Nero carried himself, he was an arrogant fuck. Do you know it's written that you could find that Nero had a horse race and he was riding his chariot and his horse lost the race, and this motherfucker at the end of the race proclaimed himself the winner?
Hey, DJ Trump did the same shit.
Hey, you can't make this up. This is something you can Google and find. This is history. All right? It's just a lot of things that let you know that's him. Keep reading. But it say he died. Now remember, on the fucking Simpsons. The Simpsons had a episode where that bitch died.
Yup.
Con, bro. Con. All right? And let's say he don't die. What we about to read about, when he killed himself, Rome went and Ancient Rome went in a civil war. And with him in power right now, about to come out of this power seat, unless he have a trick up his sleeve, the nation's on the verge of civil war. Read, bro.
Well, it says the suicide of the Emperor Nero in 68 AD was followed by a brief period of civil war.
Civil war. Come on.
The first Roman civil war since Mark Antony's death in 30 BC.
Come. Keep reading.
Well, that's all I got on there, brother.
All right. So, as you can see in these scriptures, when it said the four stood in their place, you have 4 emperors that ruled in 1 year, man.
I got a little more of mine.
All right, read it.
It says between June of 68 AD and December of 69 AD, Galba, Otho, Vitellius successfully rose and fell, the latter overlapping with July 69 AD, of Vespasian, who found the Flavian dynasty. The social, military, and political upheaval of the period had empire-wide repercussions. Empire-wide repercussions, which included the outbreak of the revolt of the Batavi.
All right, and we about to get into that. All right, you went a little bit too far. Hey, but you're on point. We're gonna show all of these. We about to show all of these things is connected in secular history, which X's out this book being a fairy tale because of Jonah went in the well. All right, a fucking well swallowed Jonah. There ain't no fucking fairy tale, man. All right, because there were giants in the earth in those days. Look, man, if you understand through the spirit, the earth gets waxing weaker and weaker as time goes on. Because guess what? Of the fall of man, and how when we fell, the earth fell. Sin weakens everybody, including the earth, man. Okay, that's why with these prophecies, hey man, you gotta hold fast to them. All right, keep reading. All right, go back to 2 Ezra 11.
All right, 2 Ezra 11 verse. Shalom to the Akim or coming boy. Shalom, y'all.
Shalom.
All right, we have verse 26. It says, "And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more."
All right, he say there was one set up, but she surely appeared no more. All right, that's Galba. Now Galba only ruled 7 months.
I was trying to look him up.
Yeah, Galba only ruled 7 months. All right, because what are we saying? They only ruled within 1 year, right?
Right.
1 year. All right. So Galba ruled for like 7 months. All right. And let's see what happened next. All right. Keep reading on the Nakumi. Let's see why his rule was so short.
The second was sooner away than the first.
The second was sooner away than the first. Now, Otho had Galba killed. But when Otho came into power, Otho only ruled 3 months. All right. And then Otho killed his motherfucking self. He was a straight up fruitcake too. He used to powder himself with baked with bread. You know how raw dough being had that power. He would powder himself, and he would make sure his wig was on straight like a bitch, and he would pluck every piece of hair off his body. He was a straight up fruitcake.
I got info on that boy too.
Bring it out.
You want the precept or you want the info on Otho?
All right. You can bring out the information.
All right. It says
because this is secular history. All right. How is this a nursery rhyme? And this is written in Wikipedia and history books. Bring it out.
This is about Otho. It says the Senate recognized Otho as the emperor the day of Gabal's murder.
All right. He had Gabal put to death. Bring it out.
It says they saluted the new emperor with relief. Although ambitious and greedy, Otho did not have a record of tyranny or cruelty and was expected to be a fair emperor.
He was a straight up fruitcake. He wasn't a man of war. He wasn't a man of war. He was a straight up faggot, full flaming fag. Bring it out.
It says, however, Otho's initial efforts to restore peace and stability were soon checked by the revelation that Vitellius had declared himself emperor in Germania and had dispatched half of his army to march on Italy.
All right, so this motherfucker, hey, but look, it say Vitellius, all right, but he was also scared of Vespasian. Okay, so because Vespasian did the same thing at the same time, Vitellius did the same thing. All right, and he was scared of them coming down on him, so that little coward killed himself. All right, and he only reigned 3 months. Now go back to the precept. Go back to the precept.
Yeah, 28.
All right, bring it out.
It says, verse 28, and I beheld, and lo, the two that remained, though also in themselves to reign.
Come on.
And when they so thought, behold, there awake one of the heads that were at rest.
All right, that's Vespasian. Vespasian is Julius Caesar back in the reincarnation. All right, you remember it said that they rested, the three heads rested. All right, that for the triumvirate. All right, that head of the three heads is Vespasian coming back as Julius Caesar. No, it's Julius. Yeah, Vespasian reincarnated from Julius Caesar. Keep reading, bro.
All right, it says,
and you gotta understand. You gotta understand. The three heads and the feathers are interlocked. All right, they are all one of the same. All right, because Vespasian is still one of those feathers. All right, one of those wings. Come on, bring it out.
It says, and when they had thought, behold, there awakened one of the heads that were at rest. Namely, it was that was in the midst, for that was greater than the other two heads.
All right, and the reason he was greater than the other two heads, all right, Pompey coming back in the reincarnation, and Praxis, all right, is because they were his sons. Is not the father greater than the sons?
Yep.
Right, and his sons that we all know Vespasian's sons was Titus and Domitian. All right, Domitian is the one that exiled John the Baptist on the island of Patmos, and Titus with that nigga that fell out Tiberius Julius Alexander. They the one that bought down Jerusalem in 70 AD.
Yeah, come on.
All right, bring it out.
All right, we at verse 30 is this. And then I saw that the two other heads were joined with it.
All right, they joined with their father, right? They with their dad, okay? But they are reincarnated from the first triumvirate. Now they are not the second triumvirate, because the second triumvirate came right after the first triumvirate. But they are reincarnated as the first triumvirate, those three men. All right, bring it out.
All right, and it says, and behold, the head was turned with them that were in it, that were with it, Salaki, and did eat up the two feathers after the wing that would have reigned.
All right, Vespasian had Vitruvius. I'm trying to pronounce his name right. He had that nigga tortured. He didn't only have that nigga killed. He had him tortured first, and then had him killed. All right, and Otho, he didn't rule 3 months because he knew that Vespasian had had waged war against them to march on them too. So he killed himself. Now they try to honor him by saying he didn't want a civil war, so he killed himself. That was honorable what he did. The bitch was a sodomite, a feminine sodomite, and he was scared.
Scary. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got the information on them two also.
All right. Bring it out. You can bring it out on it.
This is Vitellius first. It says on the news of Otho's suicide, right? It says the Senate recognized Vitellius as emperor. With this recognition, Vitellius set up for Rome. However, he faced problems from the start of his reign.
Vespasian was on that ass, bro. Hey, now look, what are you reading from?
This is Wikipedia.
All right, Wikipedia. So this is the archives of history. Is this the fucking nursery rhyme? Is this folklore? All right.
All
right.
Look, if I can make a point, brother, and that's why you need to subscribe to the Apocrypha.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. All of this is in the scriptures, and the scripture is telling you how these things happen before they happen. Are we not depicting what happened before it was written down in Wikipedia? All right. It said that on here it tells you that that the first was set up, but he wasn't set up for a long time. It tells you that it had 4 in 1 year. All this is in the scriptures. All right. Ezra lived 200 years before Rome even came into power. But our book is a book of folklore. Man, get the fuck out of here. Our book is a book of power and prophecy, man. How do you know y'all book the truth, man? Because what we doing right now. These are documents. All right? These are documents that happened before the secular world documented it. It said what was going to happen before it happened with pinpoint accuracy. And we're going to see more of that. Keep reading, bro.
All right. It said, however, he faced problems from the start of his reign. It says the city remained very skeptical with Vitellius. The city remained very skeptical when Vitellius chose the anniversary of the Battle of Alaya, which was in 390 BC, the day of bad auspicious, according to Roman suspicion, to accede to the office of Pontifex Maximus. Events seem to prove Omen's right. The throne tightly secured. Vitellius engaged in a series of banquets, refers to 3 a day, and triumphal parades that drove the imperial treasure to close to bankruptcy.
All right, so instead of him fortifying his lot, fortifying his power seat, he was partying. All right, then you got Vespasian over here. All his funds is used to what? Going towards his army, going towards his men. All right, to strengthen his power. Bring it out.
Yep, it says now, and that's going to show you like what's going on right now. You know, you're liking that to what's going on right now. You know, the rulers, the wicked rulers of the society is doing what? They taking the finances and then running the motherfuckers in the ground.
Yeah.
You did? It says debts quickly occurred and moneylenders started to demand repayment. Okay? It says Vitellius showed his violent nature by ordering the torture and execution of those who dared to make such demands.
Hey, look, I loan you money, and then when you tell me, look, man, I need my money back, kill him. Torture.
It's like Debo did Red did, man.
Hey, and that show you, hey, bro, when you read these scriptures, it shows you the nature of Edom, man. The so-called white man. He was a killer from the beginning. He's the father of lies, man.
That's a devil, man.
The wicked borrow and don't pay back, man. You know? Bring it out.
Yeah. It says when financial affairs in a state of calamity, with the financial affairs in a state of calamity, Vitellius took to killing citizens who had named him as their heir, often together with any co-heirs. Moreover, he engaged in the pursuit of every possible rival, inviting them to the palace with promises of power, only to order their assassination.
All right, so he'll bring them to the power and take all their money, their fortune. All right, I seen that on that thing that used to come on Showtime, Spartacus Blood Sand, where the senators would go when they get bankrupt, they would go take rich people that was in the kingdom, take their money and shit. So that was true. Those senators and fucking emperors really used to do that shit. All right, now let's get to the point where you see Vespasian came against his ass.
Yeah, that's right here. You want me to go to the scriptures back or back to what it is?
Yeah, go back to the scripture. Go back to the scripture.
All right, so we had 32.
All right.
2 Esdras 11 and 32, it says, but this head put the whole earth in fear, to bear rule in it over all those that dwell upon the earth with much oppression. And it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been.
All right, now this talking about when Vespasian came into power, and when it said but this said put the whole earth in fear, it's talking about the known world. All right, Rome ruled the known world. They didn't know nothing about what was going over here in the Western Hemisphere, the Americas, and so on and so forth. But the known world, they ruled it. And when they say they put, in fact, Tazadak, get Daniel 7 and 7. That's a good precept. Because when they say that they dwelt upon the earth with much oppression, the whole time Rome was in power, who they were oppressing the most? They was oppressing us.
Straight up.
In fact, when Vespasian came into power, he was raised up just to bring down the nation of Israel. Because we start fighting. Bring it out.
This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. After this, I saw in the night vision, and behold, the fourth beast dreadful and terrible, and strongly exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
All right, we the ones that they were oppressing the most. They had us in hardcore bondage. Now the other nations, they wouldn't put them in hardcore bondage, but what they would do, they would make them pay them tribute. All right, they'll come conquer somebody's land and tell them, look, for every month, every year, you have to bring us tribute. Okay, but as it pertains to the Israelites, oh man, they had us in hardcore slavery. Okay, they was in Jerusalem. And they were taxing us. In fact, this is linked with Daniel the 9th chapter. In fact, we could do that. Read verse 32. Read verse 32. Nakum.
Verse 32 says, but this head put the whole earth in fear.
Okay.
And bear rule in it over all those that dwell upon the earth with much oppression.
Okay. So when the Romans came into power, when Vespasian came back in power, he came specifically to put Israel in their place, because you got to know the history of Vespasian. Okay, when Nero sent him back to Jerusalem, it was to stop that first Jewish revolt, which is in secular history that you can read about. And when he came back, man, he came back slaughtering us. All right, he came back with a hardcore slaughter.
Try to take us out, the whole rip out, the whole nation.
He literally, him and Titus. Bring it out.
It says, and it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been.
All right, so when Titus and them came into power, man, they wasn't they was something serious. All right, they had put their hold on the earth and just they was torturing it. All right, and when they say they came down on us with much oppression, okay, that's because we had arose and started battling against Rome. Hey, get Daniel 9 and 24 to show you Second Ezra 11 and 32 is connected to it.
This
Bring it out.
This is Daniel chapter 9, verse 24. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city.
All right, those 70 weeks represents 500 years. All right, because when you look from the beloved brother Ezra, when they went to go build the second temple all the way up to Yahushua, that's about 490 to 500 years. Okay, to show you, Daniel he lived towards the end of the Babylonian captivity, through all of the Persian captivity, and then he bypasses the Greek captivity to prophesy 500 years in the future to 70 AD. You see what I'm saying? All of this is in the archives of history. Okay, bring it out.
It says to finish the transgression and to make an end of sin and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy.
All right. So he came to make an end of sin and make reconciliation for iniquity to bring everlasting righteousness to seal up the vision and prophecy. Hey, Nakomi, give me John 19 and 30. And I'm gonna get a piece up. Show you the fulfilling of that prophecy right there. John 19 and 30, brother.
That's right.
Vámonos. Underlay, arriba.
John 19 and 30, it says, when Yahushua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost.
All right. Now, when he said it is finished, this what was finished. What we just read. All right. A finish to the transgression, an end of sins, and reconciliation for iniquity. That's what he died for, right?
God.
And to bring everlasting righteousness. God. That was the whole point of being that sacrifice for what?
For the elect.
For sin. He was the sacrifice for sin for the elect. Because why did we kill bullets and turtle doves and shit? The sacrifice for our sin. He was that lamb without blemish. And he put an end to it. I'm gonna get two precepts. I'm gonna get the one in Colossians. And all this is documented, man. This is Colossians 2 and I'm gonna start at 14. Blotting out the handwork of ordinances that was against us. All right, the sin, the law is against you when you sin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was contrary to us. When you going out, the law kills your ass. Okay, and took it out of the way, nailed it to the cross. So when our great King died, he nailed us having to kill bullocks, all right, and sacrifice. All that's nailed to the cross. He was that ultimate sacrifice, so we don't have to do that. We can just get on our knees, face the east, and petition the throne of grace boldly and ask him to forgive us for our sin. Okay? And having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a show of them openly, triumphing over them in it. Okay? So when they say he triumphing them over in it, he did away with sin. He did away with transgression. He triumphed over it. He conquered death. Okay? And let me get this other precept. That's why I said it is finished. And right here in verse 24, it says he's prophesying, Daniel is prophesying about what Yahweh did before he did it. All right? And this is the book of Matthew 28 and 18, one of my favorites. And Yahweh came and spake to them, saying, now this is after he conquered death. Okay? All power is given unto me in heaven and earth. All right? Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the world. All right? So all power was given to him. What was given to him? The power over death, the power over transgression. All right? So we don't have to be sitting here perpetually under our enemies for what he did. All right, when he put an end to transgression, because guess what? Romans 8:1, there's no condemnation for those in Yahweh. So when he conquered death, he put an end in all of that openly. Okay, right. Now read verse 26. Doc, and we're gonna funnel history to what this brother is prophesying before it even happened.
You said go up to 26.
Read 26. Daniel 9 and 26.
Oh no, I had Daniel 9 and 26, bro.
Oh, you have it. So like,
yeah.
You read it.
This is it says, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off.
All right.
But not for himself.
All right. And 62 weeks, that's 62 weeks. All right. All that goes to 400 to 500 years. All right. And who was the Messiah cut off for? Let me get a precept. Get two of them. Get that Galatians is a good one. That Galatians 4 and 4. Tell you who he was cut off for. Get thorough.
And you see, this is beautiful because we're reading about Yahweh Shai in the book of Daniel, man.
In the book of Daniel. So how's the Old Testament done away with?
I don't understand how to, you know, just I'm not understanding the foolery. Well, you know what? I do understand because it wasn't given to them to know the mysteries of the kingdom.
Indeed. This Galatians 4 and 4. This is who he was cut off for. But when the fullness of time was come, Yahweh sent for his son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we may receive the adoption of sons. So he was cut off. He was put to death for them, not for himself. All right. And then I got another one. This is all right. This is Matthew 11 and 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom suffered violence. All right. And who is the kingdom? That's the nation of Israel. Okay. In fact, you can find that somewhere in Luke 17.
Yeah, it's Luke 17. Want me to get it?
Yeah, get it. All right. And the violence take it by force. All right. So it was not Yahweh put to death, our great king put to death violently.
Yup. He was beat with many stripes.
And who put him to death? Rome. Hey, son, you're gonna come in here. Sit down, bro.
You got it?
Yo. It says it was 17 and 20, brother.
Bring it out.
Wait, no, I'm trying to see if I don't think that's not it.
Hold on, I'll find it.
17. 17, you think that the kingdom, you are the kingdom. What's the first verse? Oh, I got it. I think it's 21. It says, this is Luke
That's
chapter.
it. That's it. It's 21. All right.
This is Luke chapter 17, verse 21. It said, neither shall they say, lo here, or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of the Most High is within you.
All right. So who was Yahushua talking to? He said, I was only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Come on.
Right? So he was talking to Israel. So the kingdom is the Israelites. All right. What is the church? When you look up that word church in the Greek, ecclesia, it means the assembly of Israelites.
Come on.
Right? So the kingdom is the Israelites. That's who he was cut off for. All right. All right. Now keep reading, bro.
Hold up. Yeah, that Daniels. I got you right here, brother. It's Daniels, chapter 9. I'm gonna start over in 26. It says, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. And the end of thereof shall be with the flood. And until the end of the war, desolation are determined.
All right. And he's talking about when Rome came in like a flood.
Right.
Tore that bitch up.
Uh-huh.
Tore Jerusalem up, man. All right, keep reading.
It says, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
All right. And that covenant was made when Rome subdued us, that they were still going to let us sacrifice, keep our customs and our culture, but we had to pay them taxes. All right? We had to pay them tribute. Okay? That's why our great kings say, render to Caesar what is Caesar's.
Come on.
Bring it out.
And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease.
All right, now get Nakumi, that was you I told to get Gasius Florus.
Yeah.
That Roman governor, that bitch ass nigga, get him. All right, this nigga is the reason the oblation and all of the stuff cease. All right.
Come on.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. It says Decius Florus. He was a Roman procurator of Judea from 64 to 66. Born in Calcimenia, Florus was appointed to replace Lucretius Albinus as procurator by the Emperor of Nero, due to his wife Cleopatra's friendship with Nero's wife.
All right, procurator, and governor is one of the same. Bring it up.
It says he was noted for his antagonism toward the Judean and Jewish population.
All right, so he was over there. All right, what Rome did, they would conquer a people, and then they would put a governor there to bring in that Greek fashion. So they'll come to your land, conquer it, and put a governor there. And that governor, he builds coliseums, he builds the baths that they used to like, he builds aqueducts, and that bitch, when he get through with that bitch, it'll be like when you leave Rome and Italy and come over there, your city look just like ancient Rome. No different than here in America. When you go to America territory, like Virgin Islands or Hawaii, don't the bitch look just like over here in America?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's say Great Britain. Great Britain took over Jamaica. When you go over there to Jamaica, it got the Queen Victorian house styles. When people drive, they drive on the left side of the car. You know what I'm saying?
And
that's the same thing Rome did, and it's nothing new under the sun. You know?
And if I can add, brother, when you go to these different countries, they're all set up to accommodate Americans.
Or Britain. It's whichever one of them was conquered.
Yeah.
Like go down to Australia, they're gonna be on that British vibration. All right, but if you go somewhere else, they'll be on the American vibration. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna either be the mother of America or America, and you're right. Like if you go to India, that's gonna be on the British vibration. All right, but America and Brit, hey, they one of the same, you know. They
Yeah.
complement one another.
Right.
You know, like you go down to South America, South Africa, that's the British.
Mm-hmm.
That bitch is gonna be just like being in fucking Europe, you know.
Mhm.
All right, that's what was going on in Jerusalem. They set up this nigga Gaius Flores, if I'm pronouncing his name right, to bring that heathenistic, that Hellenized fashion, that Hellenist fashion, and Hellenized Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? Bring it out, bro.
It says,
But they made a deal, all right? When you came there, you had the Pharisees and Sadducees were still there, right? They were still sacrificing. They were still keeping the Passover, all right? They put that puppet Herod in there. Now, he wasn't nothing but an Edomite his goddamn self, Herod Agrippa in there, all right? He was a puppet put in there by the Romans. He was an Edomite according to DNA, but they still let us practice our custom and our culture. That's why it makes this captivity here in America the worst. Because over there in Jerusalem, they still knew they heritage, customs, and culture while they was in captivity. Here in America, these niggas don't know who the fuck they are. You got it, bro.
all right, Kyle, I was just going over, you know, everything that you were saying, how they, you know, they're breaking that down here. It says, upon taking office in Caesarea, Florus began favoring local Greek population. Florus began favoring local Greek population of the city over the Jewish population.
All right, and that's what you call Hellenization.
Right.
It's all about Hellenizing. And right, and you gotta understand, some of those people that he was taking kindly to was Israelites according to the flesh. They was dressing just like the fucking Romans. Had getting tattoos, joining fraternities.
No,
They were
like
in the Coliseum. They were sold out to that Roman fashion, man.
just like here in America.
Roman and Greco fashion. Come. All right. Bring it out, bro.
3705.
It says, the local Greek population noticed Florus' policies and took advantage of the circumstances.
Come on.
One notable instance of provocation occurred while the Jews were worshiping at their local synagogue.
All right.
And
Now this is where the first Roman Jewish war start. And when we read about that he broke the covenant. It say, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. All right, and it happened with this guy. Let's see what this bitch ass nigga do. Typical Edomite shit. Keep reading.
it said, one notable instance of provocation occurred while the Jews was worshiping at their local synagogue, and the Hellenists sacrificed several birds on the top of an earthenware container at the entrance of the synagogue. And an act that complains and instead had the petitioners imprisoned. Salaki, hold up. Salaki. I'm gonna read that again. It says, one notable instance of provocation occurred while the Jews were worshiping at the local synagogue, and a Hellenist sacrificed several birds on top of the earthenware container at the entrance of the synagogue, an act that renders the building ritually unclean.
So now you can't sacrifice and do your oblation. All right, keep reading.
It says, in response to this action, the Jews sent a group of men to petition Florus for redress.
All right, and a lot of these guys were priests and high priests. When you read other sources, they were high priests that worked at the temple, and he started locking their asses up. Bring it out.
It says, despite accepting a payment of 8 talents to hear the case. Flores refused to listen to the complaints and instead had the petitioners imprisoned.
All right, a lot of those people he went around locking up during those time was the high priest that worked at the temple. Okay, I don't think Wikipedia touched on it, but the BBC touched on it, and another clip I read was Ancient Online History or something like that. All right, but he was locking up the people that work at the temple. So that means you can't. And then he gonna do something else. You keep reading.
It says Flores further angered the Jewish population of his province by having 17 talents removed from the treasury of the temple in Jerusalem, claiming the money was for the emperor. In response to this action, the city fell into unrest, and some of the Jewish population began to openly mock Flores by passing the basket around to collect money as if Florence were poor.
All right, and you know that's Jake. Jake was like, "God damn, man, you supposed to be the governor. Why you coming to take our shit?" You know that was Jake making fun of his ass. But damn, son, you the governor. You running this bitch. What you coming up here spoiling us for?
Yep.
They pissed off the devil. Bring him out. Bring it out.
It says Flores reacted to the unrest by sending soldiers into Jerusalem the next day to raid the city and arrest a number of city leaders.
All right, the high priest, the priest working at the temple, bring it out.
And the arrested individuals were whipped and crucified, despite many of them being Roman citizens.
Come on.
After the outbreak of the First Jewish-Roman War, Flores was replaced as procurator by Marcus Antonio Julianus.
All right, but what he did is he stopped the oblation. I thought it had a part in there where he took the precious things out of the temple too. It should have had a part where he took all of the stuff that you use, the gold and the stuff out of there to that we use to sacrifice. All right, but he's the one that broke that pact that they had with the Israelites. He made it where they couldn't sacrifice no more. He made it where they couldn't go there to worship. All right, that's for verse 27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation of cease. All right, so that's what we're reading about. That motherfucker came in and started the first Roman Jewish war. And hey, look, and we took their asses down. We beat we ran his ass up out of Jerusalem. All right. And then we took over all the Roman citizens that was in Jerusalem. We had their ass put to death. In fact, pull that up. First Roman Jewish war. All right. We ran their asses up out of there, and then they sent a whole Roman legion, and we from Syria, and then we beat that. We beat that when they came to push it in order, and we beat that Roman legion. All right. Now all of this is documented in the archives of history, and it's right here in our scripture. All right. Let me finish reading verse 27. All right. And for the overspreading of the abomination shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation that determined that shall be poured up on the desolate. Now, after the first Roman Jewish war, what happened in Jerusalem? It started in 66 AD. That's when the war started. In 70 AD, what happened? It was made desolate. Mm-hmm. All of that's right here in Daniel 9, 24 through 26, man, through 27. Salaki. All right, and it depicts exactly how the fall of Jerusalem happened, what happened during the time of Yahushua, and Daniel lived 500 years before Yahushua, man. How is our Bible a book of folklore when you can find it in the archives of history, in secular history, in history books, Wikipedia or whatever? All right, we reading about in verse 26, the first Roman-Jewish war, man. You can bring it out, read some of that excerpt.
It says, you got it, bro?
The first Roman-Jewish war brought upon the fall of Jerusalem. So when you read verse 26 and 27, that was when we was taking out our kingdom. When it says, and for the overspreading of the abomination, he shall make it desolate. We were made desolate. We ain't been home since, even unto the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. All right, and that was prophesied. The fall of Jerusalem was prophesied in Daniel 9:24 through 27, man. So, and that was 500 years before it happened. Read about that first Roman-Jewish war, brother.
What part you want me to start at? Because I can start right here where I can start with Vespasian and then go down to I'll go straight into it.
It started actually before Vespasian. Vespasian was called after they had took down that Syrian legion.
I can start before that.
All right, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go to the top.
And what's crazy when you read about it, them niggas, when they took them down, the Sicarii, you had different Israelite factions in Jerusalem fighting each other. The Zealots and the Sicarii was fighting each other. You had other guys that had rose up. Jerusalem was split while we was fighting each other. Nigga shit, man. And all of it documented in history and in the scriptures. Bring it up.
All right. I'm gonna start right here. This is Wikipedia. The first Jewish-Roman war. It says the Great Revolt began in the year 66 CE. It says during the 12th year of the reign of Nero, originating in Roman and Jewish religious tensions. The crisis escalated due to anti-taxation protests. That sound like something going on right now, huh? It says, and attacks upon Roman citizens by the Jews. All right. It says the Roman governor Gessius Florus responded by plundering the second temple, claiming the money was for the emperor, and the next day launching a raid on the city, arresting numerous senior Jewish figures, like you said, those high priests. Okay. And it says this prompted a wider and large-scale rebellion, and the Roman military garrison of Judea was quickly overrun by the rebels. While the pro-Roman king Herod Agrippa II, together with Roman officials, fled Jerusalem as it became clear the rebellion was getting out of control. Cestius Gelasius, the legate of Syria, brought in the Syrian army based on Legion 12 Fomentia and reinforced by auxiliary troops to restore the order and quell the revolt. Despite initial advances and the conquer of Jaffa, the Syrian legion was ambushed and defeated by Jewish rebels at the Battle of Beth Horon, with 6,000 Roman massacred and the legion Aquia lost.
Right. But you see how the point is that this I mean, it's hard for me to pronounce his name. It's say his name.
Which one? Gessius Florus?
Yeah. See, his bitch ass, he's the one that started it. You know, started the first Roman Jewish war. Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing is that, you know, this is all documented in history, like the brother going into. This is all in history, in which we use it and we filter it through the scriptures. Okay. So whenever you say that this Bible is folklore and tall tales and just stories, you know, man, hey, look, bro, we can pull up accounts and like through these scriptures and pull it up in history. So I mean, what you gonna do with that? Okay. What you gonna do with that? What you gonna say? Hey, Daniel lived 500 years before Yahweh Shah, but was prophesying about Yahweh Shah. Okay, prophesying about these kingdoms that hadn't even come to pass yet. Okay, how they was gonna rise and how they was gonna fall. You know.
If I could say, that also goes into that. We always bring out that Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 11. All right, when it talks about in the Second Ezra, it said they lowered the law. All right, that's going to show you that it's it was just like there is no way other than they lowered in the law for them being the way they are. Okay, because all these different things with these rulers was coming down on Israel, and Israel fighting against each other. The like shit going on right now. We proving things through history. All right, prophecy being coming more through more
Well,
and more.
yeah, Salaki, brother. Well, yeah, though, because look, man, it started in 66 AD. We were desolate in 70 AD. They was knocking us off in 70 AD. So it took them 4 years to take us down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it really what it is. It's just like the scriptures say, Israel is rebellious people. They started as children. All right, they was given the spirit of slumber until this day, and that's why they got certain people that the Most High have set just for to be destroyed. And they got and our job is to work to wake up the men of the Lord.
But the point is, brother, is that what the brother getting to, brother, is that we can take this book and filter it through secular history. You know what I'm saying? Because right there, when it said back in Daniel chapter 9, verse 27, it say, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for weeks, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice of the oblivious to cease. So they wouldn't let us sacrifice. They wouldn't let us, keep our customs. It was this guy, okay? And for the overspreading of the abomination, he shall make it desolate, even until the consumption that has determined shall be poured out on the desolation. All right? And that was in them times, 70 AD, when we was made desolate as a nation, whenever we was taken down. Okay? And we had to flee into the west coast of Africa, man. Okay? Yeah. And that's all documented in history, man. Okay? The abomination of desolation is documented in history, man. Okay? And it's going to come again. All right? Because there's nothing new under the sun. Okay?
Like I just brought out, the Roman guy, which pretty much was like a Roman mayor, Gisius Florus. He like a mayor, all right, and he went ahead and he went into fucking up the Israelites temple, right, taking the money and things out of the temple, all right, and Israel reacted, and there was a whole situation going on, all right. But like the brother said, the point is everything that we saying that's coming out can be filtered all through history. This ain't no secret information.
That's right.
This is just flat out history.
Right, because the scriptures say prove all things, man. All right, and we in the tech nation. We in the time and era where this is the information era. We can pull up just like how we can pull up these excerpts here on the Google. Matter of fact, grab that, brother. Get the scripture that says prove all things. Because we can come together. We can pull up excerpts on the Google. They got certain books. Like from like we read from Timbuktu to Babylon. All these things are documented. You got that, brother?
I'm looking now.
You need me to get it?
I'm trying to did Yahweh Shai said it?
Nah, man, that's
I got it. It's in First Thessalonians. I got it.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's the saying of Paul, brother.
Yeah. This is First Thessalonians 5. This is verse 21. Prove all things. Hold fast that which is good.
All right, we prove all things, man. We take these scriptures, man, and we prove all things, man, to whatever we got to use to prove it, and we take it and we line it up with the scriptures, man. From what our teachings of who? from the elders and the apostles on down, man. You know? Now, I don't know what else the brother wanted to go into, you know, so, but I mean, if you ain't got nothing, brother, we could probably shut it down, brother.
Yeah,
Brother.
because I mean, the point was the point was to bring out the different precepts. We brought out the different parts of history. We brought out these different Roman rulers that they speak of in the scriptures, and we bring them out in the physical history. So that you know that's undisputable. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with that, I guess we're going to shut it down.
Go ahead, bro.
I want to end by Lord willing. This was an edifying video to the hearers out there. All right. We want to close out by giving out infinite honors and praise to Yahweh, double honors to our elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well. Shalom to the brothers across the 4 1 in the truth and sincerity. Abide above.